Hey there guys, what is up? It's OMG ReUp here bringing you another Let's Play walkthrough, and this time it's for Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy XIII. So for those of you who don't know, Lightning Returns is the third installment in the Final Fantasy XIII series. It was just released in 2014 by Square Enix. Now, this game is a whole lot different from all of the other Final Fantasies that have come before us. Not only because the way of leveling up is through completing quests instead of fighting monsters, but the combat system is completely different and unique, which is why I chose to do a Let's Play series on it, because I really like it a lot. Also, the reason why I'm doing this Let's Play now is because I just completed my Final Fantasy XIII walkthrough. That is to the original Final Fantasy XIII. And I don't know, it just felt right to do a walkthrough on this. Even though I skipped Final Fantasy XIII 2, which is the one in between this and Final Fantasy XIII, that's because I played Final Fantasy XIII 2 and I really didn't like it. I mean, it was okay, but I don't know. Lightning Returns came out and I played it and beat it, and it was phenomenal. The combat is superb, and yeah, it's just an all-around great game. And I just finished Final Fantasy XIII for the Xbox 360, so I figured I'd go ahead and do Lightning Returns. Now, before we get into the actual game, let me quickly explain the rating I give Final Fantasy XIII Lightning Returns is an 8 out of 10. And that's mainly because of the combat. It's excellent, and it's a great way to change things up. Square Enix did a great job on that. The graphics, of course, are phenomenal. The cutscene graphics are phenomenal. The in-game graphics, since this game is an open world and you can explore it how you want, aren't that great, and it is Square Enix's first, or Final Fantasy's first, like, open world, you can explore it right off the bat type of game. Of course, it's not going to be up to par with the others, but it's the graphics are good enough, you know, and the cutscene cinematics are spectacular, as with every Final Fantasy before it. Now, you may be wondering, if it's such a good game, why did I give it an 8 out of 10? Well, an 8 out of 10 is high on my scale. There's only a handful of games that I can say is as good as this game. Now, the main reason I didn't give it a perfect 10 out of 10 is because the characters are kind of, there's really not that much background on the characters that you see and do quests for. They're not really deep enough, you know, to really like. But they are there, and you can talk to them, and they give you a good story, you know, or they give you a story. It's not really that good, each one that you help out. And the storyline is alright. I mean, it's not awful to where you hate it, but it's not, oh my god, I'm going to remember this game's story forever. Somewhere in between. So that's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. The combat's awesome, the open world exploration's awesome, all that stuff is straight on the money. But the character design, and the characters in general, and the storyline isn't as good. But with all that out of the way, Lightning Returns is a great game, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It's not for everybody. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. Personally, I really like it a lot. It's got a lot of replay value, because there is a New Game Plus. For those of you who don't know what New Game Plus is, it's after you beat the game and defeat the final boss, you can choose to carry over all of your stuff into a brand new game. Thus, this game has a lot of replay value, which I'll explain on later. But for now, let me quickly explain this last thing before we get into the game itself. The game, this is the first Final Fantasy game with an actual timer on it. Yes, there is a timer, meaning you have to beat the game within a certain amount of time, or you have to start over. So I know you may be thinking, Final Fantasy, a game well known for lengthy games and just really time-consuming, is actually set on a timer. So that's something new, and you really got to be careful, because if you don't complete the game within the time limit, you're going to have to restart from the beginning. So don't worry, there's plenty of time to complete the game and do all of the extra side quests and stuff like that that there is to do. We're going to be getting it done a whole lot, really quick. We're going to take care of all of the quests, all of the bosses, and pretty much everything that you can do and Lightning Returns we're going to take care of in this walkthrough. Alright, and the final question you guys may be having is, will you need to have played Final Fantasy XIII and Final Fantasy XIII-2 to understand what's going on in Lightning Returns, because it is a sequel? Well, the answer is yes and no. Final Fantasy XIII is a game in itself, you know, it's kind of by itself, and they do make minor references to Final Fantasy XIII, the original, but it's really not necessary to play that game to know what's going on in Lightning Returns. Now, Final Fantasy XIII-2, which is the game after Final Fantasy XIII, it's the second game in the series. Now, if you haven't played Final Fantasy XIII-2, you're really going to be in the dark in these first few, the first few hours of Lightning Returns, because Lightning Returns' story is built upon XIII-2. So if you haven't played XIII-2, I highly recommend to play it. And if you don't feel like playing it, because it's really not that good in my opinion, you can go on YouTube and find a cutscene. I think it's called Final Fantasy XIII-2 Marathon Edition. Search that and it'll bring you up all the cutscenes in XIII-2. That way you don't have to play the game, but instead you can watch all of the cutscenes so you know what's going on, because Lightning Returns is heavily built upon XIII-2. So, I mean, Lightning Returns does do a pretty good job at filling in the blanks. If you haven't played XIII-2, you really don't know what's going on. You're going to be confused at the beginning, but later on in the game, it kind of fills in the blanks for you. So you really don't need to play XIII-2. It just gives you a better background on what's going on. Alright, so with all that out of the way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this game. This game is great. It's really, really good. It got a lot of criticism at first, but people are really starting to understand what this game's about. And yeah, I like it a lot. So we're going to be doing a full 100% completion walkthrough on Lightning Returns. And I'll get into the details on the next episode, and we'll start the game up, watch the first few cutscenes, and get things rolling. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.